My name is Maria Jolicoeur. Welcome to my show, Let's Talk About History. Today I'm going to be talking about Flag Day and the 4th of July. The official colors of the USA. The official national colors of the United States can be seen on the American flag, red, white, and blue. Although the colors did not have a specified meaning at the time, the American flag was adapted. They were defined for the Great Seal of the United States in 1782. Red is a symbol of valor and bravery. White symbolizes purity and innocence. And blue signifies vigilance, perseverance, and justice. From United States Department of State's website, Charles Thompson's remarks and explanation detailing the symbolization of design elements on the Great Seal adopted by the Continental Congress, June 20th, 1782. Charles Thompson was the Secretary of Congress. The colors of the pales are those used in the flag of the United States of America. White signifies purity and innocence. Red, hardiness and valor. And blue, the color of the chief, signifies vigilance, perseverance, and justice. The olive branch and arrows denote the power of peace and war, which is exclusively vested in Congress. The constellation denotes a new state taking its place in rank among other sovereign powers. The Yucatan is born on the breast of the American eagle without any other supporters. Figures represented as holding up the shield to denote that the United States of America ought to rely on their own virtue. This is taken from Gettysburg Flag Works. Red, white, and blue, American flag symbolism. The flag of the United States, sometimes referred to as the American flag, or lovingly as Old Glory, the Stars and Stripes, and the Star-Spangled Banner, has stood as a symbol of freedom since 1777, and its design encompasses both our nation's history and patriotic details. It is, of course, widely known that the 50 state stars represent the 50 states of the Union, and the 13 alternating red and white stripes represent the 13 original colonies. However, the colors of the flag also hold important meaning. The color red represents hardiness and valor, as well as courage and readiness to sacrifice. It is also sometimes said to represent the blood shed to those who have fought to protect our freedom in our country. The color blue signifies justice for all, as well as vigilance and perseverance, a reminder that war must remain watchful and strong. The color white stands for purity and innocence. Pure because we are independent from other countries and hold true to our ideals. According to the U.S. Department of State, the flag's official colors are Old Glory red, Old Glory blue, and basic white. The exact colors of the American flag are specified in the 10th edition of the Standard Color Reference of America, a textile color swatch book produced by the Color Association of the United States. What's behind the meaning? Behind the red, white, and blue in the U.S. flag? As we move into the summer, Americans are sure to see more red, white, and blue. These colors, which represent the U.S. flag, are synonymous with freedom, hope, the America's annual July 4th festivities. But as we approach Independence Day, there's another periodic holiday worth reflecting on, Flag Day. For those who don't know, National Flag Day is celebrated on June 14th, just weeks before America remembers the nation's independence. The purpose and meaning of Flag Day is a bit different, though, as it commemorates an event that unfolded 242 years ago in 1777. Despite the widespread familiarity Americans have with the U.S. flag, some might not know the meaning behind the stars and stripes. When it comes to the colors, there's apparently nothing official on the record about their meaning. As for the American flag itself, the initial design was first selected on June 14, 1777 by the Second Continental Congress. The flag at that time had 13 stripes made of red, white, and 13 stars to represent the Union. The stars were white in the background. On that part of the flag was blue. So with all that fascinating flag history under our belt now, what's the story behind Flag Day? As it turns out, it wasn't until years later, though, that the Flag Day celebration took root. It wasn't until the 1900s that the day was officially proclaimed as being June 14th. President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed the American Flag Resolution in 1916, and then Congress decided on August 3rd, 1949, to designate National Flag Day as falling on June 14th each year, military reported. Flag Day isn't an official federal holiday, but U.S. presidents put out a statement every year reminding the public of the day's importance. The most recent Flag Day proclamation came in the form of a White House statement in June 2018, reminding people of the history behind the historic Day of Remembrance. More than 2 centuries ago, on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress finally adopted the Stars and Stripes as the official flag of our new republic. The statement said, "Though the many triumphs and trials of our nation, our flag has reflected our heritage of liberty and embodied the American virtues of bravery, justice, and loyalty." The proclamation went on to express gratitude for servicemen and women who have given their all to defend America, noting that the flag is a sign of gratitude to those who have served. Today we celebrate the ideals of our country's founding, which are represented so proudly by the broad stripes and bright stars, that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the text said. Why do we celebrate the 4th of July with fireworks? The Independence Day tradition dates nearly as far back as the country's beginning and was proposed by one of the founding fathers. It's hard to imagine Independence Day without fireworks. But how did this tradition get started? As it turns out, setting off many explosions of all shapes and colors, but particularly red, white, and blue, on July 4th goes back almost as far as American independence itself. Fireworks have a long and colorful history, but the story of how they became ubiquitous on July 4th dates to the summer of 1776, during the first months of the Revolutionary War. On July 1st, delegates of the Continental Congress were in Philadelphia debating over whether the 13 original colonies should declare their independence from Britain's Parliament, as well as King George III himself. That night, news arrived that British ships had sailed into New York Harbor, posing an immediate threat to the Continental troops commanded by George Washington. On July 2nd, delegates from 12 colonies voted in favor of independence. New York would follow suit on July 9th, and the motion carried. On July 3rd, even as Congress revised a draft of the Declaration composed by Thomas Jefferson, an excited John Adams took up his pen to write to his wife Abigail. The second day, quote, "The second day of July, 1776, will be the most memorable epoch in the history of America," Adams wrote. "I am apt to believe that it will be celebrated by succeeding generations as the great anniversary festival. It ought to be solemnized with pomp and parade, with shoes, games, sports, guns, bells, bonfires, and illuminations from one end of this continent to the other, from this time forward forevermore." Adams was off by a couple of days. On July 4th, after making a total of 86, mostly small, changes to Jefferson's draft, Congress officially adopted the Declaration of Independence, though most of the delegates didn't even sign the document until August 2nd. Some impromptu celebrations greeted the Declaration's first public readings on July 8th in front of local militia troops in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. By the first organized celebration of Independence Day would take place in Philadelphia on July 4th, 1777. Yesterday, the 4th of July, being the anniversary of the independence of the United States of America, was celebrated in this city and demonstrates of joy and festivity, reported the Pennsylvania Evening Post on July 5th, 1777. About noon, all the armed ships and galleys in the river were drawn up before the city, dressed in the gayest manner, with the colors of the United States and streamers displayed. After each ship's cannon fired a 13-gun salute in honor of the 13 colonies, the festivities continued, including an elegant dinner, a military demonstration, and a performance by a Haitian band. The evening was closed with the ringing of bells, the Evening Post reported, and the night there was a grand exhibition of fireworks, which began and concluded with 13 rockets on the commons, and the city was beautifully illuminated. Did you know Adams lived to see exactly 50 years of American independence? On July 4th, 1826, the 50th anniversary of Congress' adoption of the Declaration of Independence. He died at his home in Quincy, Massachusetts, just 5 hours after Jefferson's death in Virginia. Adams' hometown in Boston saw its own fireworks display that July 4th, as Colonel Thomas Crafts of the Sons of Liberty took the opportunity to set off fireworks and shells over Boston Common. In the years to come, various cities continued the tradition of celebrating independence, holding picnics, parades, speeches, and fireworks displays for the occasion, though Boston was the first to designate July 4th an official holiday in 1783. That was taken from the History Channel website. By the time Independence Day celebrations really took off after the War of 1812, another conflict pitting the United States against Britain, fireworks were even more widely available. They would become an increasingly important part of the festivities in the years to come as public safety concerns caused cannon and gunfire to be gradually phased out of celebrations. In 1870, Congress established Independence Day as an official holiday. By 1898, a reporter would note that the American 4th of July is the greatest event the maker of firecrackers knows. Historian James Heinz recorded in the 4th of July Encyclopedia. As every July 4th brings numerous fireworks-related accidents, some causing injuries and even death, many cities and states would pass bans on different types of pyrotechnics. Adams' native Massachusetts, for example, now bans all consumer fireworks. Despite these safety concerns, Americans spend somewhere around $1 billion on fireworks each July 4th, allowing for a nationwide celebration of independence John Adams would surely have appreciated. I hope you enjoyed my show. Thank you very much for watching.